Hello, future people. Welcome to Getting Tabled. I'm Jason the Bruce, and today we're going to have a look at the Delaque special weapons and upgrades. So, I think it's probably fair to say that this is an expansion of sorts. See, basically what this is all the additional weapons that the Delaque crew can take, but very unlike GW, in Necromunda, they're selling just these as a kit, rather than individual characters that have da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Now, I could be wrong. It could be always the way that they've done it with Necromunda. I didn't play it the first time around. But generally speaking, as someone that originally started with 40k, this is very unusual for that company. And it's a change that I welcome, quite frankly. As to whether this is worth it, that is the other big question. This is something I was going to buy for a very long time, but hadn't. From what I understand, these kits are very different for each faction, because every faction has their own weapons, which, again, I find very odd. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. It just seems odd. Hopefully, you can use this to determine whether the one for your faction is worth it. I'm obviously only looking at the Delaque, but in theory, the contents should be comparable to the contents that you would get in the other boxes. I haven't seen a lot of content for these boxes out there. That's why I'm doing it. Hopefully, it's appreciated. All right, and here we are with the Necromunda Delaque weapons and upgrades. So, apparently in this we're getting 86 different components. Looking at the back, I suspect that includes the arms and everything as well. So, I'm guessing that we probably get two of these. Oh, yep, we get two of these sprues. Yeah, I guess we'll find out what we think of it as we open it. All right, first things first, we actually do get instructions. This kind of surprises me because it's not that complicated, I don't think. Okay, so it's telling you which arms go with what, because they're not necessarily interchangeable. Okay, that probably is important then. Hopefully this is as simple as it looks. Hopefully these things are very much push fit. Throwing knives is interesting. Unfortunately, this does feel very much like the old instruction books. It doesn't feel very useful. This reminds me of the early 2000s rule books where they're kind of a bit crap. So, as promised, we get two sprues that are exactly the same. We are just going to look at this one. And here we go. Detail is really good, honestly. That shouldn't really be entirely surprising. I mean, weapons-wise, everything does feel very 40k-ish, but they are different at the same time, which is good. I mean, obviously the reason that these kits are designed the way they are is because, well, let's be fair, it means that you can't kit bash things and that you have to buy their version of it. You can still kit bash things, but this is a lot easier. From a Games Workshop perspective, obviously they would want you to just buy the kit and not do things yourself, because that way they make more money. I'm not being cynical. It's just from a business point of view, that makes a lot of sense. Honestly, the good thing is that this kit actually feels like it's worth it. It's very tightly packed. And the detail on this is all very, very nice. I don't really think you'd be able to get much better than this doing it yourself. Which is obviously the idea of why you would do it yourself. Let's look at the connection points on the guns. So, fairly flat. Yeah, they're all fairly flat points. This doesn't look entirely easy, honestly. So there's two school of thoughts when it comes to doing kits. If you have things that are very easy to build and you can only build them one way, the ultimate result is that people end up feeling like they're restricted and everything starts looking the same. If, however, you have a kit that's multi-pose, then they end up being a little bit harder to build. And you get bits like this where it kind of feels like, because you're supposed to build this first and then put it on the model, which doesn't always work. And at the same time, it does also mean that you can potentially get more poses and stuff out and vary the kits a little more. There's different schools of thoughts in that regard. Personally, I do prefer it this way. As annoying as guns and stuff are to build in this way, I would rather have the freedom than not have the freedom. But in all honesty, yeah, it looks like a really good kit. All right, so that's the kit. Is this worth it? In Australia, this is a $40 kit. You are getting, like, there is a lot on this, quite honestly. So, I mean, I didn't pay $40 for this. I bought it from a third party, but honestly, I think it is. Can you do it without this? Well, yes. Most decent groups aren't going to make you play WYSIWYG, but at the same time, having the right weapons and stuff on the right guys does make the game easier to play because it means that you always know what you're looking at. You can't forget things. And it means if you have one of those people that conveniently forget, you don't have to worry about it. Not that I'm saying that any of you people are like that. It's just that we all know what that person is like. Honestly, I think it's decent. I don't think you need it. I definitely don't think you need it. But I think it's worth your time. If you want to build out your crews and you want to have your crews built out with everything on them, I think this is worth it. You've made it through to the end of another video. Your next mission is to hit subscribe and comment down below. If you'd like to reach out to the team, consider doing that, gettingtabled@gmail.com. Consider subscribing to our Patreon. For only $2 a month, you get early access to almost every single video that we do. Our most active social media is facebook.com/gettingtabled. It's where you'll find everything first. There's also a Discord. There's an invite on screen right now. If you type that in, it'll give you instant access. If you're on Twitter or Instagram, you can find us at gettingtabled. It's not the most active, but it's something we're trying to use more all the time. Come and check out Jason the Bruce at Twitch. He does both video game and hobby content. And of course, without question, play more.